there, Ariana from Crafting Happiness here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this beautiful Stripes and Ruffles baby blanket. For this pattern, I have used two colors, turquoise and grey, and I've used 4 balls of each. This is Aran yarn or worsted weight yarn. I also used two different hooks, a 5.5 and a 5mm crochet hook. I've used this one for the middle part of the blanket and a 5mm crochet hook for the border. You'll also need scissors and a darning needle to weave in the ends. I'll be working on a smaller sample for you, but I will give you in the description below the number of stitches you need and a number of rows for you to recreate this exact blanket. But because we are trying to keep this video short, I will just work on a smaller sample to demonstrate the stitches and the border. So let's get started. For the actual blanket, you will need to chain 104 chains. For this tutorial, I will just make a small sample, so I will chain 26. So start with a slip knot and then chain your 104 chains. Like I said, I will make 26. So I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is my starting chain, 26 chains. And now we're going to go ahead with round 1, and we are going to make a double crochet 2 together in the 6th chain from the hook. So count 6 chains from the hook, and in the 6th one make 2 double crochet together. So yarn over, insert your hook in the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 2, and this is your incomplete double crochet. Leave it on the hook, and now we're going to make another one like this in the same chain. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then now you have 2 incomplete double crochet stitches. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And this is a double crochet 2 together. Now chain 1 and make another double crochet 2 together in the same chain. So like I said before, yarn over, insert the hook in the same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 2, and this is your incomplete double crochet. Now yarn over again, insert it in the same chain, yarn over, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have 2 incomplete double crochet stitches, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and this is your cluster V stitch. And now skip 2, and in a 3rd chain we'll make another cluster V stitch. So again, 2 double crochet together, 2 together, then chain 1, and again double crochet 2 together in the same chain. And then again skip 2, and in a 3rd one make another cluster V stitch. Don't worry about the big gaps at the bottom. As you crochet in the next chains, this will flatten and there will not be big gaps like you see here. So again, skip 2 and make a cluster V stitch in next. Now repeat this section where you skip 2 and make a cluster V stitch until you have 2 chains left. Now we reach the end of the row and we have 2 chains left. We are going to skip 1 chain and double crochet in the last one. And this is your first row, and we will continue with gray and make the second row. So turn and chain 3, and this counts as a double crochet. And now we will be making a cluster V stitch in each of the chain 1 spaces. So the chain 1 spaces in between this, in the middle of the V stitch, this is where we are going to crochet our next cluster V stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook in that chain space and make an incomplete double crochet. Then yarn over, insert in the same space, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2 only, and now we have the 2 incomplete double crochet stitches. Yarn over, pull through all 3, then chain 1, and again 2 double crochet 2 together in the same chain 1 space, and now pull through all 3, and this is your cluster V stitch. Now skip all the stitches. You don't need to count. If you need to count, then it's 2 stitches that you need to skip, and then in the next chain 1 space make another cluster V stitch. So 2 double crochet 2 together, chain 1, and another 2 double crochet 2 together in the same chain 1 space. And now just make a cluster V stitch in every single chain 1 space until the end of the row. Now we completed the last cluster V stitch in the last chain 1 space. Skip 1 stitch and in the last stitch make a double crochet. And this is the second row, and this is where we are changing color to blue. The pattern is quite easy, so all you have to do is repeat this second row until you have the desired height. So let's switch colors, and we will not be cutting the yarn. We will make the transition on the side of the blanket, so we will leave the gray uncut, and then at the end we'll crochet the border over it so you won't see the colors. So the way I change colors is I pull the new color through the loop and then pull the tail to close that loop, and now I turn and continue with my next row. Now chain 3, this is your first double crochet, and then again make a cluster V stitch in each of the chain 1 spaces until the end of the row. Like I said, it's a very simple pattern. So cluster V stitch in the next chain 1 space, that's a cluster V stitch. Then move to the next chain 1 space and make a cluster V stitch in there as well. And in each of these chain 1 spaces. I will pause the video and meet you at the end after I make 2 rows in blue. They are made with the same pattern that we use for row 2, so just make cluster V stitches in each chain 1 spaces all the way across, and at the end make a double crochet in the last stitch. So now I completed the 2 rows in blue. This is how it looks like, and this is your basic pattern for the blanket. Alternate these two colors, 2 rows at a time, until you have your required height. Mine is 11 repeats of these colors. So we have 2 in gray, 2 in blue times 11, and your blanket, when you do this repeat, will finish in blue. At the end, make another 2 rows in gray, just so you can have balance. So your blanket will start with gray, finish with gray. It will look a lot better. Now, the total row count for the blanket was 46, but depending on your tension, the yarn you use, the hook you use, or the size of the blanket you want to make, you might make more or less rows. But just remember, start with gray and finish with gray, or start with blue and finish with blue, and alternate 2 colors. Now, on the side of the blanket, we will carry the yarn. So again, now it's time to change to gray. We are not cutting the yarn, we leave it there, and we pick up the gray, pull it up through the loop, the blue loop. Make sure it's not too tight, just loosen it up a bit. Then pull the blue tail to close the loop, and then continue with gray, turn and continue with gray. So just like we did before, chain 3 and start making your cluster V stitches in a chain 1 spaces. Now I will meet you at the end. I'll make my sample a little bit bigger so I can show you how to crochet the border around the blanket. But like I said, alternate these 2 colors until you have your size blanket that you want. So I completed my sample. I just made 1 more repeat and then finished it with, like I said, with the same color that I started. The balance, color balance looks a lot better. And I weaved in, I cut the blue yarn, I weaved in all my ends, and now we are ready to start the border around the blanket. I will switch now to a 5mm crochet hook, just to make sure the border is not too loose, and we will continue from the corner where we finish with gray and make a single crochet row around the blanket. Now, as you see, we have the color transitions on the side of the blanket. We will crochet over them, and they will be invisible. So turn your work around, and we will start along the side of the blanket. We will make 5 single crochet per each color block. So for these 2 rows in gray, we will make 5 single crochet, and then 5 single crochet for the blue rows, and so on. And the way I do it, I crochet around the double crochet posts. So just make 2 double crochet around that post, then 1 in this stitch right here in between the rows, and again 2 single crochet around the next double crochet post. And now we continue with the next double crochet post, and make sure we are crocheting over the loose yarn. So 2 double crochet, and then 1 in this stitch between the 2 rows, followed by 2 single crochet around the next double crochet post. Now again, skip to the next double crochet post. Make sure you crochet over this yarn. Make 2 single crochet, 1 in between the 2 rows, and then 2 around the next double crochet post. And just continue like this until you reach the next corner. Alright, so I made my last 2 single crochet around the last double crochet post, and now we reached the bottom part, and it's time to make the corner. And to make a nice transition to the other side, we will make 3 single crochet in the corner stitch. So in that corner stitch right there, make 3 single crochet. So that's 1, that's 2, and number 3. And this will bring our yarn to the next side, and it will curve without pulling up the corners. And the corners will be flat and it will not curl up. So now we are with the bottom facing up, and we will make a single crochet in each of the stitches. So just find that loop and make a single crochet in it, and then the next loop, and so on, a single crochet in each. Now we reach the next corner, and again in the last stitch we will make 3 single crochet just so we can transition on the other side of the blanket. And just find that last stitch and make your 3 single crochet in it. Okay, so this is what we have on this side. Now we are making the corner right here, and you'll bring it nicely to the side of your blanket. So on this side we do again 5 single crochet per color block. So 2 around the double crochet post, 1 in this stitch right in between the 2 rows, and then 2 around the next double crochet post. And I just crochet around it, so I insert my hook around it and just crochet like that. Make your single crochet like that. Now in between, make 1 and then 2 around the next post. And we repeat this section for each color block. So now we are we reach the blue rows, again 2 double crochet, 1 in between, and then 2 in the next, and so on. Repeat until you reach the next corner right here. So now we are going to make the corner in that very first stitch in this row. So insert your hook through the loops and make 3 single crochet. Okay, and like you see, it brings the yarn neatly to the other side. Now we can continue with our last side. So let's do that final part, and here this is simple, just a single crochet in each of the stitches. So each stitch has 1 single crochet in it. So now we've reached our last stitch, and we will have to make a corner here as well. So in the last stitch, make 3 single crochet, and now we have reached the first single crochet we have made. Slip stitch to close the round in that first single crochet, and this is your first round in the border. This is how it looks like. Now we will continue with gray and make another single crochet row around it. This time it's easier, just make a single crochet in each of the stitches, and when you reach the corner stitches, the 3 single crochet you've made, in that middle, the second of the 3, make your corner, which is again 3 single crochet stitches. So just continue, like I said, chain 1, and in the same stitch make the single crochet and single crochet in each. Okay, so now we are at the corner with the 3 single crochet. We will make the corner in that second of the 3. So in the first make a single crochet, and now in that second one make 3 single crochet to form the corner. And single crochet until you reach the next corner, where you make 3 single crochet, then single crochet to the next corner, and so on. I will pause the video and meet you at the end where we started, and continue with the next rounds of the border. So now I completed the single crochet row. This is how it looks like. We are right here where at the end where we started the first single crochet. Make a slip stitch in it to close the round, and this time we will cut the yarn and switch to blue and continue the border with this color. So pull the yarn through the loop and pull the tail to close that loop. Now we will be crocheting over these 2 tails, or you can choose to weave them in at the end. It's up to you. The result is the same. Now the next 2 rows will be in blue, made in single crochet stitches, just like these 2 in gray, and then the following ones will be in gray, and then just 1 more in blue. So 5 more single crochet rows, 2 in blue, 2 in gray, 1 in blue. And they are made just the same like these ones, pretty simple, single crochet in each, and in that corner where you made the 3 single crochet, in that middle stitch of the 3, make your next corner, which is again 3 single crochet stitches. So all 5 rows are made like that. Again, 2 in blue, 2 in gray, 1 in blue. Now I will pause the video and meet you at the end, because otherwise it will be a very long and boring video, and we will continue with the ruffles. So I've now completed the 5 rows. Like I said, I made 2 in blue, 2 in gray, and another 1 in blue. It's pretty simple, just crochet in each stitch and then make your 3 single crochet in the corners. This is how it looks like so far. And now we are going to go on with the last round of the border where we crochet the ruffles. So don't cut the yarn on this blue row. We will continue from where we left off, and the pattern for this last round is quite simple, does not have corner pattern for it. It's just the same pattern all around. So from where you left, from where you finished the single crochet round in blue, chain 3, and then we're going to go backwards and skip 2 stitches. So count backwards 2 stitches, and we will slip stitch in a 3rd one. And now we have this loop right here, and in this loop we will crochet 7 double crochet. So chain 3, this is your first double crochet. Then in the chain space make 6 more double crochet. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one, the 6th one. So now we have in this chain 3 space, we have 7 double crochet stitches, including the chain 3. Skip 2 stitches, and in the 3rd one we are going to make a slip stitch. And this is your first shell. Now let's make another one. Chain 3, flip this shell forwards, and we will go backwards again, skip 2 stitches, and in the third one we will slip stitch, and we will always work into the same stitch where we started the previous shell. So you don't even have to count the stitches. You know you are going to slip stitch backwards in the same stitch as where you started the previous shell. So now in that stitch we make a slip stitch, and again we have a chain space where we can create the shell. Chain 3, and then inside the chain space make 6 more double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is how it looks like. Now going forwards, skip 2 and slip stitch in a third one. And this is your repeat section. You chain 3, count backwards 2 stitches, and in the third one we make a slip stitch, chain 3, make 6 double crochet inside the chain space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then going forwards, skip 2 stitches, and in the third one make a slip stitch. And this is how it looks like. Now I'll show you one more repeat, just so you know exactly. So chain 3, go backwards, skip 2 stitches, in a third one, which happens to be the stitch where you started the previous shell, make a slip stitch. You have now a chain space where you can make your 6 single crochet, double crochet. So chain 3, make 6 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one, 6. Skip 2 forward, and in the third one make a slip stitch. Now, like I said, this pattern for the shells doesn't require you to make a special pattern in the corners. We're just going to simply crochet this repeat all around the blanket. I will pause the video and meet you when I reach the corner and show you how the pattern looks like when crocheted around the corner. So now I reached the corner. This is how the row looks like. The ruffles look like these overlapping shells, and we will just continue with the same repeat, and I'll show you how it forms around the corner. Chain 3, flip your shells forward, go backwards and skip 2 stitches, and in the third stitch make a slip stitch, then chain 3, make 6 double crochet in that chain space to form your shell. So now we have 3 and 4, 5, and 6. Now again, forwards, skip 2 stitches, in a third one make a slip stitch. There you go. Now again, chain 3, in the back go backwards and skip 2 stitches, in a third one make a slip stitch, chain 3, and then make 6 double crochet inside the chain 3 space, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So rotate your work and counting forwards, skip 2, and in the third one make a slip stitch. And this is how it looks like. Let's make another one. Chain 3 from the back, going backwards, skip 2, slip stitch in a third, chain 3, 6 double crochet in a chain 2 space, chain 3 space, and that will form the shell again. So we have 4, 5, and now last one 6. Going forward, skip 2 and slip stitch in a third. And this is how the corner will look like. And because the shells expand, it will not be pulled, curled forward. It will stay flat like that. And of course you can block your blanket if you like, just to have straight edges. I don't think it's necessary, but just an extra step if you want it to look perfect. So now just continue with this repeat all around the blanket. I will pause the video and I will meet you right here at the end, and I will show you how to close the round, and also what happens if you don't have 2 stitches left that you can skip, because sometimes, even though this row requires you to have multiples of 3 stitches, sometimes you might not have to, but the pattern can be adjusted, and I will show you how. So I'll pause, crochet my round, and I will meet you here at the end. So now I've reached almost the end of the round, and I have 3 stitches left. The pattern requires me to skip 2 forward, so let's do this shell, chain 3, go backwards 2, slip stitch in a third, chain 3, and make your 6 double crochet. That's number 4, 5, and 6. So going forward, skip 2 and then slip stitch in a third. And now, as you can see, we don't have any stitches left, but there is still a gap into the border. So what we're going to do, we're going to do another shell, but instead of going forward and skipping 2, we will just go straight and slip stitch. And this is how you adjust the pattern. If you had 1 here, you'd have skipped 1. If you had 2, you'd have skipped 2. Since we have none, we'll not skip any. Chain 3, and then go backwards, skip 2 stitches, and in the third one make a slip stitch. Then complete your shell as usual, making 6 double crochet. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Since we have no stitches left and we have to slip stitch in the same stitch as the last shell, we will not skip anything and just slip stitch in that stitch. Now, as you can see, the loop, the round is not complete. It's missing 1 more loop that needs to come from the back to the front and overlap so we can make the border look seamless. So that will be our last shell. So let's chain 3 on the back, backward skip 2 stitches, and in the third one make your slip stitch. Then make your 6 double crochet inside that chain 3 space. So this is the 4th, 5th now, and last one, 6th. And we need to overlap this shell from the back to the front, coming right in front of the very first shell you made. And to do that, you need to skip 2, so skip 1, 2, and in the 3rd one we are going to finish this border. And what I do is release my loop of the hook. With my hook I inserted in this 3rd stitch, so we skip 2, and in the 3rd stitch from the back I insert my hook in that stitch. Then pull the loop back, put the loop back on the hook and pull it through. And this is how it looks like. And we have the loop at the back. And now it's time to cut the yarn, and we will pull that tail at the back as well. So you have the loop coming through that stitch right there. We will pull the this tail into the next stitch. So insert from the back, insert your hook in that stitch and pull the tail at the back. And this is how it looks like. And you have the loop coming through one stitch and the loop coming through the following stitch. Now all you have to do is yarn over and pull the tail through the loop and close. And this will secure this shell, and it will bring it right over, and as you can see now it's quite seamless. And this is how your blanket will look like. Obviously a lot bigger than my sample, but pretty much the same. This is how the border looks like, and the ruffles, the tiny overlapping shells. This is the middle of the blanket. And yeah, this is how it will look like. And this is how you crochet the Stripes and Ruffles Baby Blanket. If you have any question, ask them in the comments below and I will answer them as soon as I see them. You also have a written pattern for this blanket. You'll find it on Crafting Happiness. I will link it in the description below. Happy crocheting!